Good evening, happy Saturday, everyone, and welcome to the Bobby Moore Stand. I'm Gary, this is Chris, and that's Martin down the bottom there. Okay, tonight is going to be dedicated to the Colossus that was Billy Bonds. The same as there's going to be a hell of a lot of stuff going on at West Ham around Billy Bonds as well. It's only fitting that we did a sort of tribute of our own. So before we start, there's two intros tonight. Second one's much better than the first one. And this is to do with, this is Jim Grant, who is on the Stop Hammertime podcast, the original West Ham podcast, going back donkey's years. He is a retired English teacher, loves his poetry, if you listen to that podcast, does lots of West Ham poetry. He penciled a poem whilst looking up an action shot of Billy Bonds on his wall. And then Rob Banks, the author, he put it to music and added some lovely photos to it as well. So I found it quite moving actually. So let's see what you think. Okay, here we go. Okay, so absolutely fantastic work there from Rob to put that together with Jim's words. Rob Banks, incidentally, runs the West Ham History Channel. He's been on here before. You know, Rob. He does all the the historic videos about West Ham, the John Lyall years and all that kind of stuff. It's great stuff. So links in the description, by the way, for that and Stop Hammer Time. Must admit, it gets to me watching that. If you know Jim, Jim is he's not the sort of person to get all sentimental about a player. Yeah. Same with me, really. I'm not really like that, but yeah, Billy Bonds is the one exception. So there you go. There you go. So good evening, Chris and Martin. How are we tonight? Do you want to, Martin? You've been at West Ham today, doing some stuff, some quite special stuff. So what have you been doing?
It's a privilege, really. I was asked to go and help with the preparations for the tribute they're going to do for Billy tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's an emotional time, isn't it? That video set me off. I mean, you showed me it earlier and it set me off.
Yeah.
It's caught me out again. But, I mean, it's an emotional thing today. It was talking to people about him and hearing great stories. I mean, a great one I heard today was from Rob from Ironworks Alliance when he met Billy. And he met him at the training ground and he went up to him and said, oh, my dad's like, you're his hero. You're his absolute father figure. And Billy just said to him, call him now. And he called him and spoke to Billy on the phone. And it's just, you're hearing all these stories about what sort of person Billy Bonds was.
Yeah.
It's a real emotional time.
He touched a lot of people's lives. And Simon, who's usually in the chat, I don't know if he's in tonight, but he lived very, very close to him. And he used to say hello to him every time he saw him. Out of football, very meek, very quiet chap. On the pitch, an absolute warrior. And over 21 years, he touched. Bear in mind, he didn't just fade away. A year before he retired, he got Hammer of the Year.
Yeah,
he touched a lot of people, a lot of fans. You imagine all those generations in 21 years that saw him play. Different class.
Yeah, I mean, it's the sort of thing you're not going to see again, really. Them days are gone in football.
They have. So, Chris, you're going down there tomorrow nice and early?
Yeah, of course. I mean, look, what more can I add? In addition to what you guys have just said, I think that's an amazing video, by the way. So, kudos to, Rob and Jim for putting that together. I can understand why you say it's emotional, because it is. I think it's a real tearjerker, to be completely honest with you. And it's a beautiful tribute to a fantastic and great man. Someone that we're gonna sorely miss at West Ham. I'm looking forward to tomorrow for the reasons of obviously seeing this tribute that the club and various other kind of I guess parts of the fan groups have helped put together. And I'm really hopeful and really looking forward to a really good send off, because it was difficult to do that at the Liverpool game, because we only heard out first thing in the morning, didn't we? So now is the time to put together a proper tribute. So I'm looking forward to that for sure. More than the game. You're like, the game's really not even, honestly, like the game's not even really at the forefront of my mind right now.
What I want to see is something more befitting of Billy Bonds than what we saw against Liverpool. Because it wasn't just what we saw against Liverpool. The fans that day were awful as well, right? Quiet. Tomorrow it can't be quiet. I mean, I've been to 2 away games recently, up at Man U and then up at down at wherever it was on the south coast, Brighton. Both times the fans were amazing, absolutely amazing. If we can reproduce that kind of atmosphere in the stadium tomorrow, that would help the team. If the team can put in the kind of supreme effort that they've been putting in the last couple of games, I know Villa are good, probably the informed country in the side. Billy Bonds wouldn't want to let it stop him. He didn't really care. Nor did that team that he played with. Didn't really care who we were playing. On our day, we could beat anyone.
Yeah, I mean, that's what West Ham's all about, and it doesn't matter how good that team is coming to the ground. We should be performing. We'd forgive a performance and losing, but that everyone's 110% playing for that badge.
Yeah,
that's what Billy Bonds was about, and that's what we lack so often these days.
No, 100%. And Rob's in the house. So West Ham history. This is Rob Banks, for those that you don't know. Well, is all we know. I mean, Martin can't give it away because he's been doing, helping set it up. I suppose it's going to be a good surprise for everyone tomorrow, isn't it, Martin?
Yeah, the club, they do a lot of things wrong, this club, but I think they've done this right. From what I've seen, that's all I can say, really, is they want a wow factor tomorrow. They're really cautious they hated me filming anything. They even had a guy come down at one point and say, like, I've been watching from up the top. You had your phone out, and I said, I'm just on the banking app, for Christ's sake.
Yeah. Well,
but they're really worried about it leaking. They don't want it leaked, and then so I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I think they've done Billy Bonds proud from what I've seen. I'm pleased with it.
I think so. And let's hope so. That ain't the sort of thing you can get wrong anyway. It's just, I think it was a bit, for me last time, I think people were a little bit in shock. It was shortly before the game, wasn't it? It was or the day before or whatever. I can't remember. It's all a bit of a blur, but it weren't. It was one of those things that was really fresh in the mind. I know it hit a lot of people quite hard. So hopefully that period's past now, and we can sort of look forward to celebrating his life a bit more, like we've done in the last few games, and like first happened back in 1991, away to. Well, it went away. It was the FA Cup semi-final when Second Division West Ham took on high-flying Nottingham Forest, and we got rumped 4-0 because Keith Hackett sent Tony Gale off. But the one abiding memory of that game is we saw the writing was on the wall, but we sang for, the whole second half was, Billy Bonds' Claret and Blue Army just reverberating from all four sides of the ground. Because as is always the case with West Ham, you end up with little pockets of West Ham everywhere, don't you? I think I was in. I don't know what end we had, but whatever end behind the goal it was, I think it was a whole end. That's where I was. But here's a little reminder of what that sounded like.
Club. Parker. Clough still hands on knees, nursing the knock. Forest just keeping possession. Glover, still Lee Glover, and headed back by Kevin Keane. No flag, it's Slater. Look where Roy Keane was. What an inspirational performance by this 19-year-old, and a knowledgeable one too for a player who's only been in the league a year.
So that was what it was like at that
Amazing.
Game back in 34 years ago, bloody long time. But you never forget games like that because it was a bit of a freak, Since when is a team getting dumped 4-0 away from home and then sing their hearts out?
Says it all, doesn't it? Says it all about the man.
It does. That we love Billy Bonds. We love Billy Bonds, and he was busy getting us promoted, and it was just such a fabulous moment when he took over as manager. I mean, we just loved it. Everything was good.
Yeah,
the sun was shining,
Yeah, I remember it well.
Times.
I remember it well. I was just a kid, but that was kind of like that was the time when I really started going to West Ham a lot more. And I fell in love with West Ham before that, but it just felt right, didn't it? It felt really, really right. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I am. It's going to be sad, but I am looking forward to it.
This explains it. It was our Forest, so yeah. That's where it was then. I thought it was a whole end. I didn't want to be presumptuous, but yeah, honestly. So it's going to be, it's going to be a sad occasion to start with. But I don't think Billy Bonds being Billy Bonds, he wants us to come out of that with a win tomorrow. And also, when he was around, that crowd was loud. It was loud and proud, wasn't it?
Yeah. And I think that's the best way that we can pay tribute to the man tomorrow. Obviously, before the match, absolutely. But putting in a performance that he and we would be proud of, a proper grit, determination type of performance where it doesn't matter who we're playing, how good that team is playing, that we're going to give them one heck of a game. And that's what I'm really hoping is going to happen. It's going to be tough. But as you said, Martin, earlier, we can beat anyone on our day, and it's just typical
Yeah.
West Ham, isn't it? We've proven it over the years. We lose to the worst and we beat the best.
And that is the West Ham way. That is the West Ham way. Forget about all the other stuff, all the silky football. Being able to beat anyone anyone at all on our day, that is what I understand the West Ham way to be.
Yeah, because you never know what to expect, do you? I mean, I've had people asking me, what do I predict for the game tomorrow? And the truth is, I predict a loss. But then there's also this part of me where I'm like, well, I genuinely don't know what to expect, because people will say, yeah, but you're 18th in the league, and Villa have won 8 out of the last 9 or whatever it is. So it's not going to be easy. But West Ham do have a tendency to sometimes pull out the stops and put on a bit of a surprise. So I'm really, really hoping that'll happen tomorrow. And I think it's the least that the players can do. And I think it's the very least that the fans can do is to be chanting his name throughout the game. And I actually think that we will, because like you, Gal, obviously I was at United away, also went midweek to the under-21s game, and they were singing at the under-21s game as well. It's fantastic. I mean, there's people there that don't even know who Billy Bonds was. There was a lot of youngsters there as well.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it
was. Yeah, well, again,
like winning the World Cup in 1966. That was before my time. Winning I was born in 69. All that good stuff happened 64, 65, 66. That was the golden years. Wish I could have been around to see it, but didn't happen, did it? However, I'm no less proud of what West Ham achieved in those years than what we've achieved since I've been alive. That is part of being West Ham. And Billy Bonds is one of the few people, you got to say, Bobby Moore helped to transform West Ham together with Ron Greenwood, the main instigator, the designer, if you like, the architect. But then you got, all of the other great players as well, like Jeff Hurst and Martin Peters and all of the others, because it was a great West Ham side in 64, 65. But then when you look at that great team, that was not up to 1966. Billy Bonds just walked in as a youngster for 50 grand from Charlton in 1967. A year after that, what must it take? What kind of strength of character must it take for a young kid to come across London from Charlton for 50 grand and then eventually, walk into a dressing room full of fucking Trevor Brooking and everyone else, and eventually you take it over? But what I'm saying is, Bobby Moore helped set the standard. He's one of the very few people who you can say set the standard for West Ham and kind of ingrained in the West Ham values and made us what we were. Billy Bonds continued that legacy from him all the way up until, well, I think, the falling out with Harry, but all the way up until, I think, probably that was 91, wasn't it? So it must have been all the way up to 92 when he was actively involved at West Ham.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, yeah, I mean, he carried it on and then some, right? I mean, 799 appearances, a record appearance holder. He surpassed anything else that anyone else has done, in terms of longevity at one club. So, yeah, he is what you would typify as being a true legend of West Ham United. There's no question.
Here he is. Here's Simon. The 1975 FA Cup quarter-final v Arsenal. That's where, Alan Taylor scored in every round, but I do remember that. Wasn't that in the mud? I think that was in the mud. I'm not mistaken. Every game was in the mud back then, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But we must replicate. If you're gonna, it doesn't matter whether you were alive to watch him or whether you watched his entire career. What I'm saying is Billy Bonds is part of the fabric of West Ham, right? So that is the reason to do this tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. Hence the reason why we've got one of the biggest stands named after him at the London Stadium. So
yes.
That's the biggest thing anyone can do tomorrow is just turn up, make noise. That's the biggest tribute you can give to Billy Bonds.
Yes.
As someone who's, like you said, he's carried this club on his back for all them years. That doesn't happen very often. You don't get many players like that.
But you know what gets me, though? It's not so much just that. It's also the character of the guy. The fact that from everything that I've ever heard or read about the guy is that he was so humble, so humble, which is the polar opposite of, the modern day player today. Like the complete opposite. And, the game doesn't have characters like that anymore. It doesn't. No. It's all about the money. It's all about the money and everything else, right? And I just hope that the players tomorrow, they play for Billy, play for West Ham, and come out with a performance that we can all be proud of when we go home. That's what I'm really hopeful for.
So look, I've trawled YouTube for the best pieces of work, because I don't want to recreate this work, but because there's good stuff out there already. I consider what Rob and Jim done was, that really played on the emotions, right? It really did. but something factual. It lasts 10 minutes, but it's over 3 parts, right? So I'm going to start with the first part, see how that goes, and we go from there, all right? So this is a little interlude, and after that, when we come back, we'll talk about the marvellous performance by the youth team the other night, all right? So I just got to find it, and here we go.
There was a time when football was played for the working class people. It was still a game of men, hard-nosed, barely spoiled by the fame and money, but truly connected with the loyal fans. The working class men spent their hard-earned money to support their favourite club. To see 22 men go out on those cold, muddy pitches and create lasting memories for the generations to come. Earning the respect of the working class meant not just scoring the goals, but getting bloody bruises and thousands of hits on the cold British pitches. But it was worth it. Every player from that hard-nosed period would agree with that. No fancy contract or other financial benefits can compare with the respect of the fans. There are things you simply cannot buy. Respect goes above all the materialistic goods. The one who embodied this principle for West Ham United was Billy Bonds. Although he did not become a one-club man to the full extent, his loyalty and dedication to the Hammers was unmatched. His career spanned for 3 different, yet finest decades in football history. Bonds was never the most gifted lad technically, but he was always giving his all out there, strong, hard-nosed, and with great stamina. Bonds earned his reputation and value in the 2nd Division, playing 3 seasons for Charlton Athletic. Then came the offer from West Ham, and Bonds had a chance to become a teammate of a player he admired, the legendary England skipper Bobby Moore. Moore was at the peak of his glory, a World Cup winning captain who led the Hammers to some of the best achievements in the club's history, winning the FA Cup in 1964 and the European Cup Winners' Cup a year later. Bonds joined a fine collective, and it was a fine challenge to settle in for a 21-year-old lad with no First Division experience. Bonds succeeded and earned his spot in West Ham's starting 11. However, the season turned out to be a rough one, a mix of painful losses and some brilliant individual performances, like the 41 goals scored by Jeff Hurst. West Ham finished the season in 16th place in the First Division, and the first chapter of a legendary career unfolded under the cheers of Berlin ground. Although West Ham fans rarely saw their favourite team among the First Division leaders, the...
Right, I had to cut that one off harsh, a bit harsh. I had to make it just short enough to get on StreamYard. So 2 more of them to go. That's episode 1. Fucking different times, wasn't it? I mean, look at those pitches.
I wish, honestly, when I watch those videos back, I truly wish, and I'm so jealous of people that actually got to saw that era of football. I mean, my granddad used to go all the games, and yeah, that was when, like I said earlier, all that grit, that determination, bruises, battered, coming off the pitch covered in mud. None of these fancy Dans that are diving on the pitch like we've got nowadays. There's none of that crap going on.
None of it.
I just wish that I could have seen that type of football in truth. It just faded and faded out, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there was still the remnants of it around when I started watching it. I mean, I started going regularly when we were in the 2nd Division, 1970, what was it, 77, 78, or don't know. But I think that's what it was. But I went in 76. But the pitches were always a quagmire, right? As soon as the winter came in, there was no drainage or anything. It just used to be puddles everywhere. It was just like... And they were always covered in mud, the players. Now the players, they can come on. Look at Falkirk the other week in monsoon season at Bournemouth. Not a mark on him when he came off.
Yeah.
They don't even have to wash the kit, do they, after?
No. It was amazing. So let's go through a few comments. So check out Billy Bonds' autobiography, Bonzo, penned by the man himself. I did not know that. I didn't know that. So got to give legends their flowers while they're here. So many players. Billy Bonds literally had every supporter knows how legendary Bonzo was. Moore established it. Bonzo made it. Yeah, I think that's a good way of putting it. Actually, you know, he carried it on and made it his own in a different way to Bobby Moore, a completely different way. It was in a period. It wasn't in the period of gentlemen footballers, was it? I mean, arguably Bobby Moore's wasn't either, but it got quite violent in the 70s with Norman Hunter and Chopper Harris and people like that. It's like every single team had their hatchet man. Yeah. Bill, in that game, you're talking about the quarterfinal of the FA Cup in 1975. Yeah, I've seen it. It's incredible. And another incredible game, even though it was Brookings night, was that, I keep mentioning it, the Cup Winners' Cup semi-final at home against Frankfurt. Best atmosphere at Upton Park ever, apparently. And I weren't there. Brilliant. Yes, that's I find it sad, the Fulham v West Ham. What do you think when you look back at that? You must have watched it, Perrier. What do you? I mean, it's sad to see Bobby Moore playing against West Ham, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it definitely is. I mean, I watched the game a couple of times, and I mean, honestly, I'm just glad West Ham won it. but yeah, I mean, I get it. I think you wouldn't want Bobby Moore in a team that West Ham beat. I don't. Yeah.
This one here, he only got 3 reds ever. What would happen today, though?
That's crazy, isn't it? That is crazy.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah, he'd be banned left, right, and centre, wouldn't he? But then probably so would most players from that era as well.
Yeah. So players like Bonzo never exist again. It's my cousin Paul. Yes, Hamish United are doing something at the mural in Priory Road. Bloody hell, why haven't I got the details? But yeah, I will get the details before the end of the show because they're on my phone, and I will share them with you. Sorry, I've been focusing on finding videos and stuff so much that I just ain't been focused. I ain't been focused on anything else. Bowen, he's old school. I think he is, from an attitude perspective. He's definitely not a money grabber because he would have pissed off already. He's definitely got a loyalty element to him as well. He definitely understands the club. Yeah, I think they're chalk and cheese when it comes to leadership on the pitch, but nonetheless, he's getting better, Bowen, in that respect. He has done the last few games anyway. So, but again, trying to compare to someone like Billy Bonds is unfair, isn't it?
No, you can't.
You can't. It's just completely different. It's almost a different sport.
Yeah.
Like watching that back, because like the players were connected with the fans, and there wasn't this great gap of money. They went to pubs after where fans were there, and it's completely different now. I mean, you can't even get near them, can you? You've got no sort of.
Well, that's why I like the Black Lion in Plaistow and used to go there. It used to be all the pre-match thing because after games, Bobby Moore would go in there and have a drink. How does that happen? It's like that guy who's got the story. The old chap is probably not here anymore. Who told the story of seeing a young blonde kid get on the bus to the game in 1958, and and then he ran out in the first team, like in a totally different era.
That's when there was the connection with the fans. It was so much more prominent back then. You know, it's almost non-existent nowadays. They're like superstars, apparently. I don't see them like that, but many people do, or at least they think they are superstars, which is inherently wrong for me because I think there should be so much more of a connection with the players and the supporters, and it's just it
should be. And
always
Chris,
that,
Billy Bonds says that in his own words. Now, I haven't got the video clip of this, but it's on Twitter, and I've got the video clip, but it's probably going to be dodgy quality, but I'm going to share it with you anyway. This is a quick minute-long one, I think, two and a bit from Alex on Twitter. So let me just share it a minute. Right, Chrome tab. Yes, that one there. Share and Billy Bonds in his own words.
Some of those nights we had at Upton Park, I'd always be, in my memory. It's been marvellous just playing football for a living sort of thing, because you're doing something you love. It's just a thing that stayed with you forever, really.
Rolling away for Billy Bonds. Oh, what a goal! And they looked and waited, and Robson was there very quickly. A nice little chip towards Billy Bonds, and he scored a second one. 2-0, Billy Bonds. Billy Bonds. Oh no, my God, what a beauty.
Oh, it's every boy's dream to get the Wembley and lift the cup.
But now it's West Ham who go up to receive the cup, led by their skipper Billy Bonds. And no matter how long he plays professional football, there won't be many moments to match this. Billy Bonds, cup winners, for West Ham.
I think when I first walked through those doors, it was a big time for me. I was very nervous when I came in, but I was made welcome. These people here, the fans, have been absolutely fantastic to me. Without them, you haven't got a football club. They're the heart and soul of the club. They've been great, and I've loved every minute playing in front of them.
Right, that was an amazing video as well.
Yeah, I saw that earlier. What are you doing to me, Gal? Honestly,
Trying to break you.
Yeah, I think you're doing a bloody good job at it.
Yeah.
I saw that video earlier as well, and
yeah,
going back to what I said as well about how football was different and how the connection with the fans was there. I actually think footballers of that era didn't necessarily see themselves as being famous or stars or anything like that. They were just, I mean, certainly players that came from the youth team or were maybe close to the club, came from London like Billy Bonds, obviously from Charlton, whatever. They saw themselves almost as fans, fans playing for the fans. Whereas nowadays, as I said before, it's very much the opposite. They're playing for themselves. They're playing for the money, the riches, the fame, the glory. And yeah, the game is all the worse for it, unfortunately.
Really is. And I think Bobby shrugged his head and went to shake hands and smiled. This 75 Cup final. We knew Bonzo and the boys were at a cornerstone stylistically. Yeah, well said. And this one here as well. You only truly die when the living forget you. Bonzo will live on while West Ham exists. So yeah, absolutely.
When you try and break down, what was great about Billy, there's so many different things, but just watching that piece there where he's talking, like in this world where we've got like media trained footballers, we never hear their real opinions. That just sounds like someone who's so pleased to play for the club.
I know.
It's honesty in everything, emotion. It's unheard of now.
He loved the crowd, and according to Tony Gow, his favourite song was 6'2", Eyes of Blue, Billy Bonds is after you. La 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 la. Love to hear that tomorrow because we haven't heard it in the away games. To be honest, it's been Billy Bonds and old Billy, that one, and it's been Billy Bonds, Claret Blue Army. But I've always really liked 6'2", Eyes of Blue. It's my favourite. It's fun. It's got everything right. It's menacing. It's got everything. Because he was after him, especially if they tackled Trevor Brooklyn. So let's talk about very briefly, the next generation of kids coming through. So you two went along to little old Colchester on the A12 the other night. Who wants to go first?
I didn't go. Chris went.
You didn't go. Chris
I watched it.
Excellent.
Yeah. No, I went. I was thoroughly impressed. In truth, I thought it's a bit like not watching West Ham play, if that makes any sense. It's very different. Felt the players played with a sense of freedom. There was a lot of youngsters out there that I felt they performed particularly well. I mean, that all of the plaudits are going to the goalkeeper Finlay Herrick because I don't even know how he pulled off some of the saves that he did. I was really impressed.
He's England's keeper, right?
It's an interesting one because he's not the tallest of goalkeepers. He's not, but he's one heck of a shot stopper. I'll give him that. And it's funny because I was watching that game and Alex was sitting next to me as well. We'll call him TikTok Alex. And he was sitting next to me and it got to around about the 85th minute of the game, and it was bloody cold. Like, I was really cold. I didn't dress accordingly. And I turned around to him and I said, do you know what happens? Like, if Colchester score, this is going to extra time, isn't it? He's like, oh, shit, I didn't think about that. And I was like, yeah, I think it is. And then, honestly, when, Kante gave away that penalty in the 91st minute, I was like, oh, for fuck's. I was like, no, I can't do another half an hour of this, and then penalties and everything else. But yeah, the way he pulled off that save was just brilliant. What a save that was. And I mean, it's funny because I was at the other end of the pitch, right? So the West Ham fans were at the other end of the pitch, but there was a bit of a scramble in the goal end, and it's hard to tell whether or not that ball crossed the line because I've seen the footage back and you can't really tell. Not from the actual penalty itself, but when there was a scramble, I think it hit the bar, and then someone, I don't know, either headed it or kicked it towards the goal, and they got it away somehow. But it didn't look like the Colchester players were claiming for it. But regardless, look, 1-0 win for the youngsters. I think it's a fantastic result, and you got to remember they're playing against grown-ass men. Yes, League Two, whatever, but they're grown-ass men, and it's much more physical. But honestly, if you watch that game, you would honestly, for me, like, West Ham were definitely the better team. Colchester came on West Ham in the second half a little bit more. First half, I think it was predominantly all West Ham. I didn't really think Colchester posed much of a threat. I thought George Earthy looked very good. Very good, actually. He was certainly dictating play in the in the attacking third of the pitch.
He's threading balls through, lovely little balls.
Who, sorry?
George Earthy.
Yeah, no, he was. And so he played well. Who else do I think played well? And I'm not going to call out everyone because overall it was a good team performance. But for me, the standout players were definitely George Earthy, definitely the goalkeeper, Herrick. I would say Adieli as well. I think he's a winger. Again, he was causing them a lot of problems in the attacking third of the pitch. I thought he was particularly impressive. Callum Marshall was running his socks off. And I think it's always difficult when you've got a youngster trying to play against big centre halves when they play on their own up front. And I've said it before, if you play, as we've seen, like Callum Marshall come on in the Premier League and he's coming up against, I don't know, like Gabriel and Saliba up at Arsenal, he's he's not really going to get much of a game. It's hard for him to be effective. I don't know how he'd get on in the Premier League, is the truth. I think he's got talent. But I watched an interview with Michael Owen not that long ago. I can't remember who it was with. And he said that in today's game, because obviously Michael Owen was, he was pretty short, very, very fast.
He was quite stocky, though.
Yeah, but he was, if you had him up against a big ass centre half, then he's probably going to have a very difficult game. But in today's game, he said that he would definitely most see himself playing probably in a right wing position or a left wing position. Really? Yeah, because I think typically that era of young, fast, nippy strikers, you very rarely, I mean, if you look in the Premier League, I mean, I can't think of many, if any, very short, quick, small strikers playing on their own as a number 9. And typically most teams play with one striker up front. So you tend to see players scoring more goals coming from the right or the left quite a lot of times as well, like the Mohamed Salahs of this world, players like that. So I think maybe that will have to be his position moving forward, Callum Marshall. I don't know, unless you revert to playing him up front with someone else that can support him. But no, he looked pretty good as well. I thought Kante did well, but the penalty that he gave away was very rash. I mean, very, very rash. So but no, honestly, I was really impressed and equally impressed by the turnout, because I think there must have probably been, and I don't know the exact numbers here, but somewhere around 1,900 people, 1,900 fans turning up. Kind of annoyed me a little bit because there was loads of people on social media like digging me out on TikTok and stuff saying, but they're all from Essex. They're all from Essex. Well, you know what? Firstly, that's bollocks. Secondly, even if they were all from Essex, you've got 1,900 fans turn up for an under-21 game. Okay, so make sense of that. There's not many other teams that would do something like that. I mean, you look at when West Ham played Arsenal, right? In the final, we had 9,000 fans turn up for that game. I think there was a total capacity. I think Arsenal had 27,000 fans in a 60-odd thousand capacity stadium. So you tell me how our fan base is not up there with the best fan bases in the world, because we turn up. We always turn up, Yeah,
honestly. And again, we know how to celebrate more than anyone else. We celebrate a fucking, home win against Brighton like it's, like we've just won a cup tie or something like that. We on the right day, in the right frame of mind. I mean, we're just the best. I mean, away from home, we're definitely the best. Way better than anyone else in the league.
Yeah, but going back to the youngsters though, Gal, the under-21s, right? The academy. This just kind of epitomises to me what that means to us as West Ham supporters. We put so much faith, so much love into youngsters coming through into the first team, and I think that the turnout typified that. It was really good. It was a great game to go to. In all honesty, I actually really enjoyed it. I did. You're changing the background. I enjoyed it. Yeah, I did. But you watched it as well, Mike. What did you think? You watched it on presumably YouTube or something.
Yeah, no, I watched the whole game. They controlled the whole game, didn't they? They looked like the men's team, really. The way they play out from the back, they play out from the back properly. There's a philosophy there. All the players know what's going on. It's like you say, it's like watching a different West Ham completely, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we've got to be careful though with this though, because I know a lot of, and I'm guilty of this myself as well. Sometimes I've kind of really been hyping up some of the youngsters coming through, and I suppose jokingly, even when you talk about Preston Fearon, and I know we've had a bit of a joke about him, he does look like a prospect, but he was probably one of the more quieter players, during the week. We've got to give these kids time, time to grow, time to develop. There's a lot of
they go through
needed.
fits and starts, don't they? It's a long road to get to the first team, isn't it? So yeah, I've been, back in Preston Fearon, but a lot of that's been tongue in cheek. He'll take as long as he takes to get there. But one day it'll happen. One day it'll happen.
With George Earthy, you can see he's played first team football on them loans. He's running games. Like he was in charge. He did tire in the second half, but he's not really got 90 minutes in him at the moment. But
do you know what I liked watching?
Great.
What I liked about George Earthy was he never stopped moving. So he was like literally pass and move. He was covering both sides of the pitch. Honestly, it was brilliant. He was dictating play in that final third. He just looked like a player that knew. I mean, it may sound silly, but knew how to play a proper game of football. That's the only way I can describe it. He looked really good, and whether he can do that in the Premier League obviously remains to be seen yet. He needs to be given the chance. But based off of what I've seen him so far, I would give him a chance. I'd definitely give him a chance. And I know it's difficult in a season like we're having because we need the points. So relying on youngsters to come in and perform is tough. It's a lot of pressure for them. But I would like to see him coming off the bench more frequently, particularly now that he's back from injury. And I think the performance midweek warrants him getting some minutes for sure, because I think he looks more of a prospect than someone like Luis Guilherme, in my opinion. I do.
Yeah. Well, he just looks like he's played first team football, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I don't know why Guilherme has never played in this youth team.
Well, put it this way, Martin. Let's take away Luis Guilherme's pace for a second, because we know that he's pacey. Yeah. What else do we think, or what else has he shown that he can bring to West Ham?
Honestly, I don't think we've seen enough of him.
Yeah.
It's just very difficult to say. I don't think he's had the chances, but has he taken the chances when he's come on?
I think
I can tell you now, George Earthy is more physical than Guilherme. Guilherme doesn't seem to have any kind of physicality about him, which you clearly need in the Premier League, right? So I would be more inclined to give Earthy more of a chance than Guilherme. And Earthy understands, I think, more so what it means to play for West Ham, having come through the academy. So it makes sense to me. Yeah, it really does. But no, I was pleased. Good performance. Good to see the youngsters progress. To the latter stages as well. So very good.
It's bloody amazing. I mean, it's amazing what they've done with that youth team in the last 5-6 years. I mean, the amount of kids they've developed onto not into the first team, but onto the verge of being in the first team. But absolutely. I mean, I love the idea, by the way, of playing in a grown-ups competition, because that 2 years running, if anything's going to ready you for grown-up football, adult football, the transition to it's going to be that, isn't it? Competitive games against fully grown teams. Yeah. And you must have seen the size difference exactly the same way I saw it at Wickham last season, the season before, whenever it was, where West Ham, it looked like a group of kids coming out against a group of group of dads. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, actually. There are a few players, and I can't remember the guy's name. He was playing at centre-half for West Ham, the under-21s. You might know better than me, Martin. I can't remember who it was.
Myers.
No, not Myers, the other guy. White guy. I can't remember his name.
Briggs.
He was playing Briggs. Yeah, Briggs. Yeah. So when he came out, we all thought he looked like Andy Irvine. We thought we had a ringer in our team because he was quite a big. He was quite a big lad. He looks pretty decent as well, actually.
Bigger than Kante. He's a giant, Kante.
I didn't say bigger than Kante, but he looked like. Honestly, I think a few people saying that is that Andy Irvine? I'm like, I don't know, and I had to kind of I need my glasses on.
Priory Road. You got to meet up for the Hammers United tribute. Right, here we go. So Andy Payne has just messaged me. On Sunday the 14th December at 11 a.m, Hammers United will be gathering at the Billy Bonds Trevor Brooking mural at the corner of Barking Road and Priory Road, Upton Park. where we will be laying a wreath in honour of Billy Bonds, who sadly passed away on Sunday, the 30th of November, 2025. So there you go. That's the full details. I'll read that out again later.
What was the dates, Gal? The actual date?
Tomorrow.
It is tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah. Sunday, the 14th of December. Tomorrow.
Yeah.
11 a.m. Right, and that'll be run by Paul Coleman, and he likes to leave on time, so don't be late.
Yeah, he won't be late.
The
wreath is stunning, by the way.
The end of the show, right?
They showed the wreath. You've seen it. It's stunning.
It's amazing. It's like the Bobby Moore one. You know that one, the shirt. I've got it somewhere. I'll find it. I've got WhatsApp here somewhere. I'll try and get the image across. But yeah, really, really lovely bit of work. I'll dig that out. Let's go into 2 of 3, the second part of Billy Bonds' career. Right, get tissues at the ready. I think this one's got Bobby Moore in it as well.
Lions had some memorable moments and successful runs in the FA Cup. Bonds was a crucial part of this success, and he also experienced the Leeds United era. The famous Dirty Leeds, despised by many and led by the Scottish legend Billy Bremner, was one of the roughest opposition to face in the English football history. But Bonds wasn't someone to be intimidated by ruthless tackles and opponents' willingness to get a win by any means possible. He could withstand all of that, and his reputation around the league became more and more respectable. Bonds provided a great versatility and availability. No matter where the manager intended to play him, in defence or midfield, Bonds was showing some stellar performances. He seemed tireless and also had those great leadership abilities. As West Ham's legendary skipper, Bobby Moore, moved to Fulham in 1974, Bonds became the new captain of the Irons and held this honour for the next decade. His captaincy brought immediate success as West Ham embarked on the 1974-75 season that saw a glorious FA Cup run. The road to the final was a rocky one, and it had some historical significance. West Ham had to get past QPR, Arsenal and Ipswich Town on the way to the final to face Fulham. The addition of Moore helped Fulham to enjoy a successful run. Ironically, it was the last time they managed to reach the FA Cup final. In front of 100,000 spectators at Wembley Stadium, Bonds captained his side to a memorable 2-0 victory. Alan Taylor was the star of this game, scoring both of the goals. The Hammers won their second FA Cup title, becoming the last All-English team to win the FA Cup. A feat that probably isn't going to be replicated anytime soon. The FA Cup win opened a way back into European competition. Bonds had a chance to replicate the success of 1965 when Bobby Moore led West Ham to the European Cup Winners' Cup title. Up until May 5th, 1976, West Ham's European journey was filled with some nerve-wracking wins and losses. Nevertheless, they advanced to the final. The Belgian side Anderlecht had an advantage since the final was played in Brussels. The game turned out to be a dramatic one. West Ham had an early lead, but a crucial mistake and a later injury of Frank Lampard made a serious impact on the course of this final matchup. Alan Taylor couldn't replicate his masterful performance of the FA Cup final, and Anderlecht had some lucky moments in the second half. A controversial referee's decision to award Anderlecht a penalty in the 73rd minute was a turning point. The Belgians got a 3-2 lead, and West Ham now had the time going against them.
So, dodgy refereeing decisions back then as well, eh?
I'll tell you what is ironic: the fact that we had QPR in the early rounds of that FA Cup. You know,
we're not the first one to notice that, actually. And that's what people have been saying this week. It's like, don't matter if you don't go to that ground anymore. Get yourself a ticket, get along to that QPR game. Let's recreate it, you know?
I'm not going to be there for that, annoyingly. I'm not there for that game. But yeah, I just hope that I mean, it'd be great if history could repeat itself, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it really would. It really would. So, rumor is that, right, what's it say? Iron Disciple says, rumor is that Nuno's written off Guilherme because of his height, supposedly. Don't know, can't see it. Who knows? Who knows?
Can't just be because of his height. You can't be heightist, can he, surely? He's not the shortest player we've got, is he, guys? He's definitely not the shortest player we've got at West Ham.
Cat who's ill, but we've talked her out. No, Cat who's ill, but we've talked her out of being ill tomorrow so she can go to the game. That's good. Well, don't care, you're a trooper. She's seen the kids play 4 times this season. Bloody hell. She never sits still.
She goes all the away games as well.
Yeah. Earthy has got he's got, she does. She goes all around the place and it's
sorry. You've been pulling Earthy for years now, have you really?
That's a bit.
It's a little bit naughty, Cat.
Pulling 4. She's got flu. I'll let her off.
Okay, all right.
The same reason as JWP was outed. Height. Height and slowness. Briggs looks good to me. Yes. Willie Young. Oh dear God. Yeah, Willie Young. Right, so that's part 2 of Bonzo Finish. Let's talk about the game tomorrow. So we have a small matter of the informed team in the Premier League, Aston Villa, fresh off of beating Arsenal last week, turning up at the London Stadium to have a go at us. How do we see this one panning out? Martin?
Yeah, I was hoping they was going to play a stronger team on Thursday in Europe, but they didn't, did they? They rested most of the key players. It's a tough game. It probably is the toughest game we could play at the moment.
Yeah.
I just think that just shows you we've got to go for it. You know, if we lose to Villa, it's no shame, is it? If we've actually put 100% in and really gone for it and done a tribute to Billy Bonds and played in his style, that's what they've got to do for me. I mean, it's a tough game to predict, really, a score, because it's the toughest game.
It is. It is, but I'll go back to what I said before and what you've already kind of pointed out as well, Martin. It's 11 v 11.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I know, you're talking they're 3rd on 30 points versus 18th on 13 points. You know, we're just so far apart in terms of, levels. But it is 11 v 11. And I'm expecting them to go out there, fully expecting West Ham to go out there and fucking fight for that badge tomorrow in honour of Billy. Yeah. That's what no less, nothing less than that. But it's going to be a tough one because, I mean, Christ almighty, they've won 8 in their last 9 games. They only lost to Liverpool. They beat Arsenal the other week as well. So it's going to be tough. They've got some really good players. I think the midfield battle is actually going to be key because they've got obviously Onana, they've got Tielemans, they've got the leadership of McGinn as well, who also has the knack of seeming to score goals quite frequently as well. And then they've got, Ollie Watkins up front. They've got a proper striker up front. And then they've got the other lad that I was raving about for quite some time now before a lot of other people were, and that's Morgan Rogers, who's one heck of a player. They've got strength and depth. And then you've got the defence. They've got Torres. They've got, fucking hell. They've got Maatsen. They've got Cash. They've got Konsa. They've got a solid team, a very structured, solid team. The team that actually has been playing together for quite a while now, actually. So they know each other's game. They've got very good chemistry. So it will be tough, but go back to what I said before. I think if we can show a bit more fight and determination, a bit more spirit than they show, then we've got every chance of pulling out a result. And I really, really hope that we do tomorrow, honestly. I mean, it's the least I expect. Even if we come away with a loss or a draw, I mean, draw would be good, of course, but even if we come away with a loss, I just want to see a real battle out there tomorrow. And I don't want to see us sitting back, by the way. That will annoy me because I think the problem is if we go with if we let them come at us and we play a back 5 or whatever it's going to be, we lose the game. We may play 4 at the back, we may lose the game, but we've got more of a chance of actually attacking them and scoring goals. And
that is one thing we can't do. If we decide to sit like we did against Liverpool, we're going to get taken apart. It won't be 0-0 at half time. It will be game over at half time. We can't do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the only hope is hitting them on the counter, isn't it? The only hope is hitting them on the counter, but we don't have enough.
But not with a deep block, not with a low block. That's the word, a low block. You don't want to invite them on that much, right? You want to keep them away from your goal a little bit. So I know we're going to block somewhere, mid or a high block or something like that. But playing 5 at the back is just you're taking away an attacking option at a time when we ain't got many attacking options. And if we're looking to play on the counter, this is why I could never understand Moyes playing with 2 CDMs, because you lose in player when you're trying to play counter-attack. And the only good thing about counter-attack is the attacking part. And if you're going to water that down, what chance have you got?
I mean, in fairness to Moyes, as boring as his football was at times, in terms of counter-attacking, we had the players that could counter-attack with pace with Kudus, players like that. We don't really have that nowadays. Only really Somerville is the one that was, got some element of pace. But yeah, I think we need to start pressing higher up the pitch. I've been saying it for ages. Yeah. I really do. Our defence is looking better now, but I just want to see, this is the problem that I have sometimes watching West Ham, is I just see us sitting back. It's like a mid to low block, typically more of a low block than a mid block. And I just want to see players putting a bit more pressure on their centre halves. I just don't see enough of that. It's hard when you've got one up front. And it's a lot to ask of the players. But again, it all comes down to effort for me. And I just want to see those players tomorrow just giving more than they've ever given. Because look, what a great confidence boost that would be for us if we win that game against Villa.
It'd be amazing. It'd make all the difference. We need to get to 20 points by the time we've finished playing Wolves on January the 3rd. However we get there, it doesn't matter. But the obvious way we get there is to beat Fulham, Brighton, Wolves. But we can't rely on having to do that. And if we just get rolled over the next 2 games, puts the pressure on those games, doesn't it?
Well, look, Brighton had a go at Villa. The other, was it last week? And they lost 4-3. So they lost by 1 goal. So my point being is that they will concede goals. There's every chance that they'll concede goals. But the only way they're going to concede a goal from us is if we try and press higher up the pitch and attack them a little bit more. So that's what we need to do. We have to do that tomorrow.
I think with the type of players we've got, like Fernandes now, and Potts can do a job holding on his own. Fernandes can battle. We just need to be a bit braver, especially in games like this, because I hate the term free hit, but it is, isn't it? This is one of the best Premier League teams coming to us. Let's just have a go at them. The crowd get behind them. Let's just have a go.
I think that midfield though is going to be going to be crucial, because I do think Onana, Tielemans, McGinn versus Potts, potentially Magassa. I don't know who it's going to be, and obviously Fernandes. That's going to be pivotal. Absolutely pivotal. They have to work their bollocks off tomorrow.
We must have a go at them. No, we must have a go at them. I agree, Martin. It was Willie Young. Willie Young was the one that took out Paul Allen. Just as he was breaking through for a 1-on-1 with a keeper at the end of the cup final in 1980 to make it 2-0 to the Mighty Hammers. But it wasn't to be. No a professional foul rule in those days. So they just took a yellow card. Toss. I still hate him for it. Anyway. Was he dead? Oh, sorry, Willie. R.I.P. Always forgiven. Yeah. Sorry. Didn't say that. Sorry.
I just want to do a little quick shout out. My granddad's coming tomorrow. He's 91.
Oh, wow.
He wants to see the Billy Bonds tribute and everything.
Fantastic.
Oh, that's awesome, mate. Where's he travelling from?
Not far from me, but my mum's coming with him, and there's quite a family thing happening tomorrow. But it's going to be great. He's the reason I go to West Ham, so he's really making the effort tomorrow.
Yeah,
he gets to about sort of one game every year. But...
Oh man, you're very lucky and blessed, mate. What I wouldn't give to go to a game with my granddad again, mate. Honestly, enjoy that tomorrow. And I really hope he gets. I really hope he gets the game and the performance as well. I really do.
Yeah.
Well, those sort of things, it's good. Sometimes it can just happen, right? It can just happen, and hopefully tomorrow, God's are shining on us a little bit. What do I want to say? I've got a spare ticket in the Bobby Moore Lower tomorrow for anyone that wants it. You've got to not be a nutcase, but you've got to be a singer
or a tourist. Come on,
no tourist. No. You got an half and half scarf. You're going to get physically ejected from the Bobby Moore Lower because people around react to those things, right? But true West Ham fan, preferably someone who don't go very often. It's free, won't charge you anything. It's next to me, Sam Ross. He's going to be there. It's a nice group in that little area there, so you won't be on your own. But if you want it, send me either DM me on X or send me an email to gary@thebobbymorestand.com. And I'll sort you out. You got to have one of those. You got to have an idea, client reference, but you can get one of them online really quickly because I just have to transfer the ticket to you. Then you can use your card and get in, right? All right, no charge, all free. Let me know. If anyone in the chat wants it, let me know. Chat gets priority, obviously. What happens if 2 people in the chat want it?
Well, you have to buy them another ticket, Gal. I think that's only fair.
Yeah,
I think that's fair. Don't you think that's fair, mine? I think if you get a few people coming for you, then I think you need to give up one of your padded seats as well, mate. I think that's only fair as well.
My son Adam's coming tomorrow, the one that broke his leg. So Yeah, he's going to come. So he's going to sit in the comfy seat, good for his leg, and Ross is going around the other side. So here is the one more time, by the way. Hammers United are meeting in Priory Road underneath the mural. You should all know where it is if you know the old ground. It's very similar actually to the Bobby Moore one that was done all those years ago. The reef that they're going to lay. It's a 11 o'clock. Be there or they'll be gone because Paul Colburn's running it. He's on timing.
Gary, I think you got the first person that put their hand up for this. Give it to me, Gary.
What's your name? WTBSTGWG? Because that ain't your name, is it? Well, it
might be. It might be, mate.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. All right. No, you can have it. You can have it. Just
Gary buying us all a ticket. Hurrah! So there you go.
No. But yeah, if you want to, whatever I've forgotten it already, that name. But send me whatever's more convenient. Send me an email to gary@thebobbymore.com, @thebobbymoorestand.com, or DM me on Twitter.
X.
Yeah. X, whatever it's called. Right, let's go for part 3, the final part of the Bobby Moore tribute.
Billy Bonds tribute, mate. Jesus.
Bobby Moore stand, Billy Bonds tribute. I don't know. It's all going wrong. 1 minute. To me, they are almost the same. Right, so here we go. This is number 3, part 3 of 3. Enjoy.
The following seasons were tough for Bonds and his lads. In 1978, West Ham faced relegation to Division 2, and the comeback to Division 1 wasn't instant. It took 3 seasons for the Irons to get themselves back with England's finest clubs. Despite being in Division 2, West Ham still managed to bring another FA Cup trophy in 1980. West Ham faced Arsenal in the final, and Bonds once again had a chance to lift the trophy at Wembley Stadium thanks to an early goal scored by Trevor Booking. The Hammers once again earned the opportunity to play in the European competition the following season, which finally brought some joy back to the Berlin ground. Bonds was always present. And as West Ham earned their Division 2 title, he played a career high of 59 games in the 1980-1981 season. The European journey did not turn out that successful. In the quarter-final stage, the Hammers lost to the eventual Cup Winners' Cup champions, the Soviet side Dinamo Tbilisi. For Bonds, it was the final appearance on the European stage in his career. In the following seasons, West Ham did not have much success, and Bonds slowly moved towards retirement. Injuries began to bother him, and in 1984, Bonds retired for the first time at the age of 38. However, his retirement was brief due to the number of injuries in West Ham's squad. The legendary skipper decided to make a comeback and help his team. Bonds remained an important part of West Ham's squad up until 1988, when he was already 42 years old and about to retire for the last time. He retired with 799 games in West Ham's kit on his resume. Bonds had an incredible longevity, and this record will likely stand forever. But the greatness of Bonds cannot be described in numbers. He might be barely known outside England, and he did not earn the opportunity to shine on the international stage. Still, he was an embodiment of a classic English football legend. From those good old days when the game was played by men, not boys, when it was all about the game and winning, not shining bright in the billboards and interviews. Billy Bonds will always be a symbol of the Hammers, the Irons, and all the best that English football once had. A true football legend.
Yeah, I think it's an amazing tribute, that was. He covered everything there, apart from, you know, that 59-game season in 1980-81, where we got promoted as champions in the second division, record points tally, got to the quarterfinal of the Cup Cup, got to the League Cup final, played Liverpool, took them to a replay. Really long season. On the very last game of that season, he crashed into Phil Parks and broke 2 ribs. And he was supposed to be playing against Brazil for England, making his debut a few weeks later.
Wow.
So, real bitter moment for him. Ron Greenwood was the England manager then. He's the one who bought him in 1967, right? He knew the value of Billy Bonds.
Too good for England, mate. Too good for England.
Well, the rumor was that he because other players came in and they took their chance, and he was penciled in to be in the 1982 World Cup, right? But a bitter pill for Billy to swallow. But at the same time, we got to keep him all for ourselves. So what can you say? Selfish, I know.
Well, not really, because I look at it another way. Because you see some players that, how many caps may you've got after that period of time, after, say, 81, 82? Debatable, right?
Yeah.
I think it would be actually, almost, in a weird kind of way, worse if he ended up with like 1 or 2 caps. I think I prefer the idea that he was West Ham's own and, we got to keep him all for ourselves. I kind of like that, actually, because I think it'd be wrong just to have 1 cap or 2 caps or 3 caps for England. It just wouldn't be right, I don't think, for a player of that stature and ability and how well he is, regarded at West Ham.
Well, Kevin, how these things work, my friend. Sometimes in football, things are unexplained. I hope with something's particularly unexplained tomorrow, because really we shouldn't be beating you. But you never know, dear. You never know.
I'm changing my mind on this. I actually am expecting us to go out for a win tomorrow. I really am. Some people have been messaging me and asking me, and I said loss. And every time I predict a loss, we end up winning. So maybe I should predict a loss. But fuck it. You know what? It's got to change at some point. I think we're going to win tomorrow. Actually, I do. I'm going for a win. 2-1 West Ham.
Did I make the catering staff at Brighton work for the money, Gal? I don't know what that means, Ogami, Ito, N7Q. Let's do it for Billy. Yes, Des. Yes. Proper club, West Ham. Yeah, well, it's nice to have all claret and blue tomorrow, isn't it? It really is. So, very fitting. The man who loved us so much, he came back to play. And you only had to hear Billy's own words earlier about the fans. He loved the fans because the fans are what make the club. The fans and players like him are what make the club. And as much as, I'm not going to go on about regime tonight, but please, Brady, Sullivan, stay in your fucking box. Don't make this about you because it's nothing to fucking do with you. All right? You're just paying the bill. This is about us respecting a genuine Colossus of West Ham history, and neither of you are. So keep your noses out of it. That's all I say on it. I'll see her fucking start talking to the media about it. It's going to give me the hump.
Did you see on the West Ham media, it's all gone back to Castle badge again for this weekend? Yeah.
Good. Well, that's good. And I like stuff like that. It shows they've put some thought into it. Great. Excellent.
Yeah.
Because I think petition to keep it like that as well, because
it is the proper badge. It is the proper badge. That new one is rubbish. You're wearing it, mate. Well done. So it is the real badge. We all loved it. Billy Bonds wore it. I mean, he didn't start wearing it. I think that came about part way through his career, wasn't it? But it's the only one most of us remember. Yeah, claret and blue clubs. West Ham, Villa, Burnley, Scunthorpe. Yeah, we had a distribution across the divisions, really, claret and blue. There's a claret and blue everywhere, no matter where you went in the country. There's another one as well, I can't remember.
I don't care about the other ones, Gal. There's only one claret and blue club for me.
Go on, Chris.
Ralph, enjoying the sun, 4233. I'm 65, more on Bonds and my legends and always will be. R.I.P. fellow. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, there's also a book of condonance you can sign in the club shop.
Is there really?
That. Yeah.
Excellent.
There's an online one, but there's a physical one actually in the downstairs part of the club shop.
Well, look, I'm quite fair. If the club do a good job of it, and I really hope they do, and I expect them to, we'll have to say well done, right? That is the right thing to do. But we're just going to take this week. No protests this week. No hostility. Just togetherness and support. Right. See where we go. Right, but yeah, get yourself along to the club shop then and sign that book of condolence. Right, have I got any West Ham tattoos? I ain't got any tattoos. You, Chris, what's your tattoo?
So, like, actually, funny story with this. When I was about 18, one of my mates, Chris, there's about 5 of us. We're all called Chris. Really weird. Yeah. And he said to me, I'm going to go and get a tattoo, West Ham tattoo done. Should we go and get one done together? It was actually in Chadwell Heath somewhere. There's a little tattoo shop in Chadwell Heath.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, I'll do it. I think I was at university at this time. And anyway, he went out and got it done. And he said, Chris, I've had it done anyway. So what you might, when you come back from your break, you go get your one done as well. I was like, yeah, okay, cool. I'll go and get it done. And I saw his one. And it might possibly be, and I don't know if he's watching this. Sometimes he does. It's quite possibly one of the worst West Ham tattoos I've ever seen. It was really shit. And I looked at his tattoo and I went, nah, I'm not going to get it done. And I never got around to it. Yeah. I never got around to it. I mean, I wouldn't be against it, but you can't. I don't know if I'm past the age of getting tattoos now. I don't know, but yeah, it was. I nearly did, but no, I didn't because I saw his and it looked pretty hideous. Sorry, Chris.
I've got a question from my cousin Paul here, right? Paul, you remember that calendar where it was It was a West Ham calendar. It was January, and the background, the player in the forefront was in focus, obviously. The fans in the background were out of focus, apart from your solitary face, right, in the crowd. Was that with Billy Bonds on January? Was he January? Keep me honest. But what time are the tributes starting? I think they're starting at, what is it, 1:30 to 1:45, aren't they, Martin?
Yeah, they got various old players and people that played under Billy Bonds, and that. There's going to be loads of things on the build-up. They want everyone
1:30 just to be just for safety's sake, yeah.
Yeah,
they want everyone seated by 1:45 at the latest, though.
Right. So get there early, people. You're never too old for a tattoo, Chris. She has 14 of them, does Claire. She's double-eyed.
Wow.
Yeah, it's still a consideration. It's still a consideration. Yeah. How about we all get one done? Yeah. What about that? What about that guy? You up for a tattoo?
Senior. It was Frank Lampard Senior. But you imagine Paul done something with his face that day when he went to that ground. He knew that the whole crowd was going to be blurry, and he sharpened himself up. I don't know how he did it, but literally the only face you could see in the crowd behind is Paul's. Isn't it weird?
Well,
do that? Sorry, going back to the tattoo point, like I just said.
Sorry.
What about we all get a tattoo done, Gary? Are you going to get one done? Would you get one done?
I'd get one done, but it's got to be something that's sort of that I want to get done. I'm not going to just get one for the sake of it.
Well, obviously, I'm not just saying randomly go in there and say you choose, but like, yeah, would you get one done?
Well, get one the whole size of my leg.
Full sleeve, a full sleeve, Gal, a full sleeve tattoo.
I'm too old for that shit.
What about a full sleeve claret arm and a full sleeve blue arm? I reckon
just get a shirt tattooed on my body. Is that what you're saying? A West Ham shirt? Yeah?
Save your money on buying a kit every season. Save your money on buying a kit every season, wouldn't it? What about you, Brian? Would you get one?
I've never really sort of been into it. I've never really been convinced by a design or anything. I've got to be 100% on it. So
yeah. We'll figure out some designs for you, and maybe we'll all get one done.
I bet you will, yeah.
maybe you with bubbles and hammerhead would be a good one. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I think we're done. There's no news. I just checked. There's no real news to talk about. We haven't got any new injury news or anything, have we? It's kind of a. What do you think? What team do you think he's going to put out tomorrow? Let's agree on that. Let us know in the chat, people, if you've got any thoughts, and after that we'll do predictions.
I think it's really hard to predict the team. I think there's certain players that you know are going to play, obviously, but
what do you think Nuno's going to do? What do you think Nuno's going to do tomorrow?
I've got a feeling that he's going to go with 5, like 2 wing backs. I've got a bad feeling that he's going to do that because he's going to respect Villa too much. That's what my worry. But I don't want him to do that. Obviously, like I said before, I want us to go to maybe like a 4-2-3-1 or something like that. That's what I'd prefer. But I just can't see that happening. Which being the case, I would imagine, hopefully. I mean, I don't know about injuries because I watched his interview the other day and he was very kind of hush-hush about players that are out. So I don't know. I mean, I'm hoping that Somerville's okay, so he'll play because I think he's pivotal for us tomorrow. He's massively important. Our midfield, to me, looks fine. So I think, certainly Fernandes should play. Potsy should absolutely play. The question is, will it be Magassa? I don't know. Honestly, I find it really, really hard to predict lineups at the moment because he just surprises us every week. I mean, who the heck expected Guido Rodriguez to play the last game and start? No one did. No one would have called that.
Over. She wants to get another tattoo. Can have one each.
Yeah,
she's going to have the Arsenal game, isn't she?
I feel I'm getting peer pressure for tattoos. That's what we're getting.
Don't bow to it, Chris.
Probably more stand group booking at the tattoo parlour.
Yeah. Oh, this is exactly the fucking tattoo shop I want to go to, Paul. Tattoo shop in Chadbelief opposite the Weatherspoons. Yeah, fucking
Yeah.
Sounds quality.
Yeah,
I think that's what it is. It's on the corner, like it's a little not roundabout, but it's on a
I'm
corner.
going
There,
there.
that's the one where my mate went, and it was awful. And yeah,
if I
I
have a
didn't.
tattoo, it's going to be done in Harley Street. You know that.
Oh. Posh
No,
gear.
by the way, I'm off next week because I'm having laser eye surgery at last. Come around after a couple of weeks, so no game. No, I won't be doing a show midweek. I should be back to be able to do one next weekend. But luckily, we're away. I don't have to go football.
This has nothing. This has nothing. Just to clarify, this has nothing to do with the Penfold name is being thrown at you. You're doing this purely because you want to get your vision back to 2020 again, right?
Yeah, I don't give a fuck what people call me. Don't bother me.
Okay. So we can continue to call you Penfold then.
Do we like?
Perfect. Okay. I just want to clarify.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Are you still going to wear the glasses, but with like?
I'm going to get
no lens, no lenses.
British Bulldog written West Ham underneath. Got old school West Ham tattoo, Chris. Yeah.
Do you know what? That's the one that I actually was considering. It sounds ridiculous because Julian Dix had that on his leg. I remember he had the British Bulldog with the hammers, I think, something like that.
Right. Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, maybe I'll get that done. But that I was 18 years old, and I'm glad I didn't because I don't think that would have suited me. Suit some people, it wouldn't have suited me. I don't think.
I'll tell you, Simon, Harry can't play like he didn't play in the last game. What was it? It was the last game, wasn't it? Yeah, Brighton.
Yeah. I mean, I only put that down to perhaps. He felt that something, but tiredness. I mean, these guys are young. I mean, you're talking Magastra and Potsy. They're two of our youngest central midfielders. So that doesn't really add up to me. It doesn't at all.
Always a chance where he's going to do something stupid. Always a very, very big chance where he's going to do something stupid. You know that. You know that, right?
Especially as we felt like the midfield was finally sorted after Man United.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, it's the best we've been in midfield.
Yeah.
He weren't the worst, though, was he, Rodriguez? He weren't the worst. He did okay.
No, he was all right.
He did all right. Yeah.
As long as he's, I mean, the way Nuno plays, he'll kind of contain him in a little box and say, that's the scope of what I want you to do. I don't want you to cover the width of the pitch and get up and down and stuff like that. Just do this, you know. And I think he can follow instructions. He's a World Cup winner. He should be able to.
Yeah.
Well,
but when the team piles down the other end of the pitch and leave him as the only one back to defend against three oncoming, very fast attackers like Lopetegui did, he ain't got much of a chance, has he, poor sod?
No, there isn't. So what's your predictions, guys? I've already said 2-1 West Ham. I'm going for it. I don't care. 2-1 West Ham.
I'm going to go 3-1 West Ham.
Wow.
I'm going to, heart overhead today. Martin?
I'm going to go 3-2 then. Let's all go with a positive result.
I thought you were going to better that and say 4-1. I was hoping you were going to say 4-1.
People in chat, you got any predictions? So
whilst they're predicting things, there is a little bit of news, actually. There was a little bit of news. West Ham being linked with a striker. Have you seen that news?
Who's that?
His name is Josh Sargent. Yeah, Josh Sargent, 25-year-old American striker who plays for Norwich City at the moment. Yeah. He's 6'2".
Eyes are blue.
No, well, I don't know what colour his eyes are, but he's got like a gingery kind of. It's not an afro, is it? It's a bit bushy. Let's put it that way.
A ginger.
It's not an afro. It's a bit bushy, but yeah, he's a ginger guy, and I don't know, mate. I mean, his goal per appearance ratio doesn't look overly exciting, I must admit. But I would imagine that he's a sort of player that would be of the ilk of like a big lump up front, physical, good in the air, doesn't score a lot of goals.
Really, for big lumps up front, it's big enough, isn't it?
The Louis and Dowie. No, but I think he's quite a physical player. I think he's quite lanky. So
25, did you say?
25. I mean, I was looking at his goal scoring record, right? So he's got 50 goals, so 50 and 150 for Norwich. He's got 5 in 15 in the champ this season. He averages typically around 15 a season.
Yeah.
But then he only scored 2 goals in 26 appearances when he was playing for Norwich in the Prem. But a lot of those appearances, in fairness, were off the bench. But he was obviously quite young then, so he would have been about 21, 22. So you never know. And don't forget, the last striker, and correct me if I'm wrong here, the last striker that we signed from Norwich City was Dean Ashton. Not that I'm comparing, of course, but you never know. You never know.
No, fair enough. Simon don't like him.
I don't know enough about him. I genuinely don't. All I know about him is he's 6'2" and ginger. That's all I know about him. That is literally
ginger disappointment by the sound of it.
Yeah, maybe. So he's probably odds on to sign for us.
Exactly. It must be cheap. Yeah. But, right. So we're done. I think that's it. And what I'm going to do is to play us out. So thanks again to Rob Banks who put this video together and Jim who wrote the words. If you didn't catch it earlier on, look at the photos. take in the ambience, read the words of Jib's poem. This is someone who don't usually, don't get sucked into all that hero worship of footballers, but there was one exception, and that one exception, he wrote this poem, Jim, as he looked up at this photo on his wall. So if you're going tomorrow, please do your best and sing your heart out. Let's get that place rocking, at least for this one game. Let's drive the team on, and hopefully we'll get a decent result. But until next time, here is the final tribute to Billy Bonds.
Thank you.